Hello there.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Wolfall77 and welcome back to another part of the Spyro Battlefront 2 concept series. So we are now up to episode 5 or part 5, whatever you want to call it, of this series, and today we are going to be covering Hunter and Bianca, who are the 5th and 6th heroes for the light side in terms of the launch concept. So I did mention these guys in the previous video at the very end, in which I covered Nasty Nook and Ripto, who are the 3rd and the 4th villains for the dark side. And you guys, as I've said in the past, have been enjoying this series and still continue to support it. So, like I always say, you guys know how this works. For those who are new, it's pretty much what you'd expect in Battlefront 2 if a new hero was coming in. They'd have like a base description, abilities, star cards, emotes and so forth, but things like the emotes and other things I will be going over in a future video. But right now we're going to dive right into this video, starting off with Hunter, and the base description I've got here is: a valiant warrior of the Avalar tribe, Hunter is one of the Dragon Guardian's most trusted allies and one of his tribe's greatest of all time. Always out to help Spyro and his friends on their adventures, Hunter brings his cunning senses and his faithful bow and arrows to the fight. Who says you need powers to be a hero? So, Hunter has been around since Spyro Ripto's Rage back in 1999, and was of course in a lot of future games since, and then he was even brought into the Legend of Spyro trilogy, briefly mentioned in The Eternal Night in 2007, and then shown partially in the final scene, which it's not like a proper cutscene, it's more of like artwork and stuff, and then he's physically in Dawn of the Dragon, which is of course the image you guys saw of Hunter just then. But yeah, so we're going to get into Hunter's appearances. Now I've got 5 different appearances here. 2 of them I'll be going over again in a future video because I'll be covering more skins, but Hunter's default appearance is going to be called Warrior. So this is his Dawn of the Dragon look without his hood on, pretty much how you see him most of the time in the game. Then the rare appearance for Hunter is going to be called Hooded. So this is Dawn of the Dragon again, but wearing the hood. So think of it as Aiden in Battlefront 2, where she has the regular look and then a look without her helmet on. Then the 3rd appearance here is going to be a legendary appearance, and that is going to be Reignited. So this is how Hunter looks in, like, currently the most recent version of Hunter in Reignited Trilogy, obviously from the classic series. And then the 2 event skins that I have here is, the first one is a hero's tail. So Hunter was slightly different in this, like he had more white patches of fur showing compared to like other designs, and I'm not sure about his bow, but you guys will see the image anyway, or you have seen it now. But then the final event appearance here is Skate Park. So this was a bit of a funny one that I thought I'd add in, because Count Dooku's got his exquisite pajamas in Battlefront 2, and I thought this would be something I could do on the lines of that. So Hunter only wears the skate park appearance during the skateboard challenges you have to do as Spyro during Spyro Year of the Dragon, which was released back in 2000. Then we're going to get into Hunter's attacks. So his primary attack I've got here is bow and arrows. So what I mean by this is he'll be like a blaster character where he'll be able to fire his arrows. But then his secondary attack is going to be using the bow and close combat training. So either it could go with this, or we could mix the primary attack, so if he is at a certain distance from people, then he'll have to fire his arrows, but if you're close enough, it could switch to physically attacking them. Otherwise, you can use the secondary button to toggle between the two types of attacks, which could be a more useful way of managing it. And then the aim button will be close-up view when firing arrows, so you'll get a better accuracy with his shots. Then we're going to get into Hunter's abilities. So the first ability is going to be called Trick Shot. So this is where Hunter focuses closely on his target and fires a single arrow accurately, dealing critical damage to those it hits. So think of this as Lando's Sharp Shot in Battlefront 2, and Han had a similar thing back in the 2015 Battlefront. I think it was called Lucky Shot. I can't remember, I haven't played that game too much in a while. But it's pretty much that, so it'll kind of be like a guarantee hit to someone. Maybe not guaranteed kill, definitely not to a hero, but it will take a lot of damage. Well, a lot of their health away, I should say. But then the second ability for Hunter is called Predator Instincts. So this is where Hunter taps into his predator senses and temporarily becomes invisible to enemy maps, can see enemy locations, and is also given a slight speed increase in all movement. So this is Rey's insight straight away. So enemies won't be able to see you on the map. You'll be able to see where enemies are precisely on the map. Maybe you get like a bit of an outline too of like if they're behind walls and so forth. And his attacks will be faster, he'll run faster, jump faster, and so forth. So all of his movement, as said, he'll be a lot faster. And then the third ability is going to be called Tri Arrows. Tri as in triple. So this is where Hunter begins to fire 3 arrows at a time temporarily, dealing either more damage to an individual or spread damage to multiple targets, depending on how he aims it. So this is exactly like a Wookiee with a bowcaster. So if you're playing as, say, Chewbacca, and you don't have any abilities active, you don't use the aim button, you fire as normal, you fire horizontally, but then when you hold the aim button, you'll fire vertically. So that's exactly what this is in this case. But then apart from that, that's all for the abilities. So now we're going to get into the star cards for Hunter. So the first star card, well, obviously beforehand you guys know the passive, so Hunter would have the health on kill passive. But then for star cards, Hunter's first star card is Hunter gains an extra dodge, but all of his cooldowns are slightly increased. So Rey and Han have got this card as their replacement for the health on kill. Then his second card is Hunter has increased maximum health. I could change that, but that's what I've got at the moment. And the third one is Hunter has increased health regeneration. So those are the 3 basic cards, and then we're going to get into the cards for each of his abilities. So the first 2 are for Trick Shot. First one being Hunter's Trick Shot allows for him to accurately fire 2 arrows. However, it slightly does less damage as 2 are fired. So it's in a way a benefit, but you get a bit of a downside at the same time, because I could have just left it as you fire 2 arrows, they both deal the same damage as it would be with 1, but I think if you sort of balance it a little bit, it might be easier. So maybe it could be like it does 25% less damage if you just fire like 2 of them. Now, potentially that could be more like Sharp Shot, for example, with Lando, it goes to multiple targets. So Trick Shot may potentially get like a sort of a tweak to it, which I may do in a future video, but you guys might come up with suggestions too, so I'll keep those in mind. And then the other one is Hunter's Trick Shot has a shorter cooldown, so that's pretty straightforward there. Then the next 2 star cards are going to be for Predator Instincts. So the first one is Predator Instincts will last longer with the radius slightly increased, giving Hunter the upper hand. So that's really straightforward there. So you get more time. It's Rey has a similar card, but then the radius is also bigger. Pretty straightforward there. And the other one is the movement speed from Predator Instincts is slightly faster. So you'll be able to attack much faster, run much faster, and so forth. You'll practically become a speed demon almost with Hunter with this ability. But then those are all for Predator Instincts, which means the last two are for Tri-Arrows. So the first one is Tri-Arrows last longer for every enemy defeated with it. So you get a bit of time back for it, which is going to be something... it's going to be helpful if you can get multi-kills over and over again. And then the other one is Tri-Arrows deal more damage to enemies. So I would try not to have Hunter as broken yeah, just not broken. Like, I wouldn't want him to, say, be as OP as Chewie's Bowcaster, because that would be a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, that's why I said we can always tweak some of these if we have to. But apart from that, that's all I've got for Hunter. So that means now we are going to get to the sixth and final light side hero for the launch concept, and that is Bianca. So I'm going to try and make this as quick as I possibly can. So the base description for Bianca is: once the former servant to the sorceress, Bianca learned the terrible truth of her plans and betrayed her to help Spyro and the others rescue the dragon eggs and stop the sorceress. Now Bianca fights on the side of good and has close relations with Hunter, whilst bringing the essence of magic to the fight. So she first appeared in Spyro Year of the Dragon. She started off being bad, kind of confused in some ways, but then she found out about what the sorceress's true plans were and basically turned her back on evil and decided to help Spyro and Hunter rescue the dragon eggs and stop the sorceress. Pretty straightforward there. So in terms of appearances, there's only 2 for Bianca at the moment that I have. There is another one I'm thinking of that's in Enter Dragonfly, because it's like a red dress or something. I'll have to check that. But like I said, there will be a future video where we can cover more appearances. So the default appearance is going to be called Sorceress. So this is her general look, where she's opened herself up and is on the light side. And then her rare appearance is going to be Cloaked. So this is her beforehand, like when she was serving the Sorceress. Then we're going to get into the attacks. So her primary attack is going to be Magical Combat. So it's going to be a mix of physical attacks using her magic, as well as maybe a couple of blasts from her wand, so forth. Then the aim button is going to be blocking with magic. So pretty much how every dragon's blocking with their wings, she's going to be using magic to protect herself. Then we're going to get into the abilities. So her first ability is going to be called Power Surge. So this is where Bianca raises her hands up, depending on how many she should have up, and creates a surge of energy that temporarily disables enemy abilities and attacks, leaving a short stun. So this is basically the Officer's Disruption. So that's pretty self-explanatory there, which will give Bianca the upper hand for a short duration, including her allies. Then the second ability is going to be called Magical Grasp. So this is where Bianca summons evading enemies towards her, leaving them at her feet and allowing her to attack. So this is pretty much Kylo Ren's pull and Anakin's pull dominance. So you're going to pull them towards you, and they're going to be left at your feet, and you'll just be able to attack them pretty much straight up like that. Then the final ability is going to be called Inevitable Escape. So this is where Bianca focuses her power on multiple enemies and fires a few quick blasts of magic that can deal critical damage to them. So this is Sharp Shot, literally. So Hunter could have a similar thing with his Trick Shot, but Inevitable Escape literally is Sharp Shot for real. So you can have a certain number of targets, and then you fire a few quick blasts and deal some pretty good damage to them. But then we're going to get into the star cards. So, of course, her passive is Health on Kill. Oh, and that's the other thing I actually forgot to mention. Health regeneration for Hunter and Bianca. So, Hunter's health regeneration would be, well, Hunter and Bianca both would have 200 without the star card, so I just wanted to clear that up because I forgot to mention that. But we'll get back into Bianca's star cards. So the first star card is, with experience comes precision and skill, allowing Bianca's magic to last longer and allowing her to use it much faster, all by 15%. So what this means is all of her abilities, and I guess, well actually yeah, it'd be all of her abilities are 15% stronger or faster or longer. So for Power Surge, it would last 15% longer. For Magical Grasp, I guess it'd be like a 15% or maybe increase in radius. I'm not quite sure if that would be too overpowered. But then Inevitable Escape would be, she can just fire at 50% faster, so, or does 15% more damage, depending on the rest of the cards I have. But then her second card is Bianca's Stamina Bar drains slower, and her third one is Bianca has increased maximum health, or increased health regeneration, sorry. But then the first two for Power Surge is, the radius of Power Surge is larger, and the second one is the duration of Power Surge is longer. Those are very self-explanatory there, so I don't really need to go into too much detail with them. Then the next two are for Magical Grasp. So the first one is the area of effect for Magical Grasp is larger, and the second one is Magical Grasp becomes more harsh, dealing a bit of damage. So Kylo Ren has a harsh pull card where it deals a bit of extra damage to enemies. So this is the case with Bianca's Magical Grasp. But beforehand, if you don't have the star cards, I wouldn't say it would deal damage. But with the star card, it will deal damage to them, and a pretty significant amount. Otherwise, she can deal a bit of damage already. It just depends on what you guys probably think about it. But then the final two cards we're going to go over is Inevitable Escape. So, well, for Inevitable Escape, I should say. So the first one is Inevitable Escape can target enemies further away. And the second one is the cooldown of Inevitable Escape is shorter. Once again, pretty self-explanatory with those two. But apart from that, that is all I have for Hunter and Bianca, which now means we have the launch hero concepts for the light side done. Doesn't mean they are the last light side heroes, because I've got a couple of DLCs in mind. If you guys are very keen to see that, I will probably go ahead with them anyway, but it won't be for a while. So all we have to do now is cover the final two dark side heroes, the 5th and 6th one, for the launch concept, who are going to be the Sorceress and Red. So I'm sure you guys will be very keen for that episode once it comes out. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, leave a like on the video, and go and check out my other videos also, and be sure to spread it around to friends and family. And if you haven't checked out the previous part yet with Nasty Nork and Ripto, the link is in the description, and the title card will be up on screen now for you guys to go and check out. And apart from that, that's all I've got to say. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.